Hey guys, JP Swirl here. You know us, Jesse and Pearl. So today we wanted to come and talk to you guys about like marriage counseling, what our thoughts are on it, some benefits of it, and what we decided to do before we got married. So stick around, check out all the excitement coming this way. All right, so our first question is going to be like, is marriage counseling worth it? So kind of to preface that, Pearl, I'm going to kind of ask you, like, was marriage counseling a thing that was common growing up, or with people you knew getting married?
I mean, growing up in Africa, marriage counseling is a thing. Especially if you grew up in a church, like you're a Christian and you grew up in a church and you want to get married, you have to like go through counseling with the church before you guys get married. Yeah.
Is it like a must requirement?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. For the church to perform the ceremony?
Yes. Yeah, so you have to like go through the counseling. I don't know for how long you have to go through the counseling, but I know you have to go through it. And alongside the counseling, I think the church requires that you do a pregnancy test to make sure you're not getting married because you're pregnant. I think they also do like this blood work test to see like your sickling. I don't know how.
Sickle cell?
Sickle cell, yeah, to see if you guys are compatible before you get married. Yeah, so yeah, it's like a must, it's a thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so over here in America, it's definitely more volunteer. I mean, if you are connected to a church, maybe if you know your pastor well, or you have like a small group leader, he might advise it or recommend going through something like that with you. I do know a couple friends who've done that. They said it was really good, like opened up a lot of questions and kind of just opened some doors that wouldn't have thought otherwise. So at least do I think marriage counseling is worth it? I would say yeah.
Yeah, it is.
In a big way, having that third party there, because maybe you're having some little tiffs in just your relationship, being engaged or just dating, and you can bring them to that person who's trained to like help decipher and help move through that. It's kind of like a therapy session, but a little more like guidance and helps let you know what you're getting into with marriage, and
Yeah.
like put the reality of that commitment kind of before you. Obviously, if you are going through your church and through like a pastor or a small group leader, we'll be able to bring like God's perspective into marriage, and you guys be able to learn, if you're a Christian couple, be able to learn what that's intended for, at least marriage, and what your goals should be.
So like when we started dating, and I mean when he brought up the idea of marriage, I actually thought we'd be doing like the regular counseling that I know back home. I grew up in Ghana, so I thought we'd be going through counseling, but we didn't go through counseling. I would say we didn't go through formal counseling.
True.
Yes.
So at the time, obviously, when we were just engaged, when we were talking about marriage, like Pearl wasn't like super deep invested in her church, and we just had like a whole bunch of new people come over, so it was hard really to make some connections. But in our relationship up to that point, as just dating and being engaged, we did know that we were very open in our relationship. We didn't really get in fights, and the things that we could talk about, we were very upfront and honest with each other.
Yeah. So what we did was to read a book by Dr. Emerson Eggerichs.
Emerson Eggerichs.
Yes. Oh, Eggerichs.
Yeah.
Whatever. We read that book. It's on love and respect, and to be honest, that book really was mind-opening. So it helped a lot, and we also did a lot of. We had a Bible plan. We have a Bible plan. So
Bible app.
The Bible app. Yeah. So we did a lot of marriage, premarital.
Study plans, or like they have little studies. They're like Bible focused, so it'll give you like a prayer and then like a message and then some scripture to back it up. So we probably did, 15, maybe 20 of those, just running through them, just one after another through the week.
And then we're not just reading to just like tick it off our list. We're actually reading and discussing.
Yeah, so like during might give you like some questions. So we pause during that, ask each other. Some of them are really easy. You're like, why are you getting married? It's like, well, because I love this person and we're not her God. Okay, move on. But there are a few that are like more deeper as far as
long term.
Yeah, long term. Like you need to make sure you have like goals set and some finances, and what are ways that you're weak that your partner can help you in. What are ways that you hope to grow your partner. So just being honest about like where our emotions were, and getting rid of all those like me feelings, and starting to change her mind into how can I serve you better, and how can I be a good husband for you,
Yes.
instead of what can Pearl do for me, and vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. So those really helped us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely spent a lot of time doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We had one trip. We went down to Nashville. I think we like just got the book. We're going to see her uncle, so we were just like, she was reading the book as we were driving, answering questions, and that was really fun. Just going through that.
Yeah. Definitely was.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I would say that even though it wasn't like a formal counseling where we had to see like a third party or a third person to like guide us through, we really learned a lot. So what are some of the things you learned?
Definitely things to keep in mind is just that like Pearl sees things just differently than I do, which is still really hard to comprehend. And we still have little tips over it, but just that like how she looks at a situation, or how she plans her day, or ways she wants to plan her day, or vice versa, like totally flop versus what I think. So if I don't like communicate well, we run into little spats where it's like, babe, why would I do that? Well, that's what I would do. It's not what Pearl's gonna do. So in time, we'll smooth those things out.
Yeah. One thing I really learned from the book or Bible study plans is that in marriage you need to be selfless. Like I think you kind of like touched on that earlier. It's about the other person, not about you. It's about the other person. So whilst you are thinking about the other person will also be thinking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely kind of like a highway. So you got things going this way, things going this way, and they're always, or this way and that way. It's always back and forth. It's never expecting just to have all the attention, or how can they please me? How can they make me happy? How can they fit in my schedule? How can, all that stuff.
Yeah. So we advise that other couples or engaged individuals go through counseling. Yes, we will. And I think one thing people think is that counseling is only done before you get married. I think counseling can even be done after you get married, because marriage is a whole journey, right? Sometimes things might come up and you feel like, hey, you need a third person to talk to. You can go to counseling for that. And if you're going to counseling, doesn't mean there's something wrong.
No, definitely not.
No, like it could be just
like sometimes it's because I've experienced it, where like Pearl will tell me something, but because it's Pearl, somehow I'm like, I'm not listening. But if someone else tells me exactly what Pearl is telling me, oh yeah, that makes a little more sense now. So sometimes it's just a little different perspective and from a different source that'll get you to understand something.
So yeah, definitely we'll advise that you go through counseling before marriage, and if you think you're married and you're having some misunderstanding or issues, you can still go for counseling. It's not bad. Unless of course you think you guys can just talk about it and read more about the Bible and use the Bible to guide solve your issues. Yeah.
Or if you're connected to a church, just go to like a pastor, or if you have a small group leader, or even if you just have another couple or a friend who's honest and truthful, and well read in the Bible, who can at least guide you through that thing as well, who'd be willing. So a lot of great resources out there. Just got to be like bold enough to take that step to say, hey, can you help us?
Yes.
It's really all it takes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that's all we have for you guys. We hope we covered enough. If you have any question, feel free to just ask in the comment section down below. If you don't feel comfortable like asking your questions in public, feel free to send us an email. It's on your screen right now. You can also DM us on Instagram at @JMP_swirl.
That's right. Stay tuned, and hopefully we'll see you next time.